Hey guys, today we are going to make the replacement part for the coffee maker. This is part of our reverse engineering unit that we are working on right now. The idea behind this assignment is that we are trying to 3D print or manufacture a replacement for a part that is no longer being produced by the company that made the coffee maker. The good news is we know exactly what the part should look like, and we have the 3D modeling skills to make it. So let's jump right in. So first, make sure that you are in the correct version of Onshape. We are working in the My IPS version. We are going to create a new document. We're going to name this the same way that we've named all of our documents in this class up until this point. So your class period, your last name, your first name, today's date. For me, today is March 2nd, and the description of the assignment. So this is the coffee maker part. So we'll press OK, and we'll start up our document. Alright, so the end goal here is that we are going to create something that looks like this. This is a water heater pipe for the coffee maker to get the hot water to brew the coffee. So that is where we are working towards. So first, we are going to create a sketch on the front face here. And I'm going to snap my view to the front. That's annoying. Alright, so we are going to, first we're going to sketch the path. This is an awful lot like what we did with our paperclip design, if you remember that from a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to use the line tool here to create some lines. Make sure that you always start from the origin. So I'm going to make a horizontal line coming over here, and I'm using the dimensions from the PLTW instruction guide. So this is 1.81 inches. It's really important that we make that line horizontal. So you can see that it's got a horizontal constraint on it, and the right end is coincident with the origin. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another horizontal line, and I'm just going to put it over here, like that. And it is also going to have dimension of 1.81. Now you'll notice that it isn't fully constrained. We need to add another constraint to this. We need to add a vertical constraint so that this point and this point, let's see if we can fix that. Alright, so looks like we've got a couple extra constraints, no big deal, we can fix that. We need to make it so that these 2 points are vertical with each other. And then for this to be horizontal. Oh, you know what we're missing? We're missing the dimension between these two lines. That's very important. So these are 1.95 inches apart. There we go. Alright, so that is almost done. Now we need to add an arc that's going to connect these two. Now as I'm adding this, I'm going to click on this point first, then on the bottom point, and you can see that I get this kind of rubber band looking arc here. I'm going to drag it out here until it snaps. You can see that it snaps here. That is a tangent constraint that it's adding, so that it is tangent to both of these lines, which means that if we imagine the circle kind of going off in a straight direction, that's what it's going to do for both of these. So I'm going to finish that sketch, and that gives me this shape here. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to rename this path sketch. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to define what this is going to look like on the inside of the pipe. So to do that, I'm going to create a new sketch on the right side. Snap my view here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 circles on my origin. So I'm going to use my center point circle tool. First, I'm going to define the outer circle. And my outer circle needs to have dimension 0.37. And then my inner circle has dimension of 0.27. So that's what that should look like. And I'm going to click the checkbox. and then I'm going to rename this Sweep Sketch, because that is what tool we are going to use. I'm going to go ahead and hide my top, front, and right planes here just to clean this up a little bit. Now we're going to use the Sweep tool to perform the geometry that we need. So I'm going to click Sweep. It's going to ask me what face or sketch region I want to sweep. I'm going to select this interior circle. Make sure that you click only in between these two circles here. Alright, now if I try to click on my path right now, nothing works. So you have to actually click on this red box first. So click here, and then it will let you select your shapes. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. Now we've got this weird looking U shape. We need to add a few things. Now if we look at the PLTW page, which I will pop up here, we've got a couple other features that we need to add. So in the diagram here, we've got a tapered section up top, and we've got this threaded section on the bottom. The tapered section is 1/4 of an inch long, and the threaded section is 1/2 inch long. So let's deal with that taper first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the extrude tool. I'm going to click on the top here. I'm going to set the depth to 0.25. And you can see that that's the correct length, but it's not tapered at all. It's not getting thinner like it is in this picture. So if we use the draft tool, we can make it do exactly that. You can see here it's flaring in the wrong direction. So to fix that, we're just going to click on this little circle guy here, and that is the shape that we want. I'm going to set this to 5 degrees just to make it a little bit more dramatic. And that's what we need. That looks pretty darn close to what we've got in the first diagram. You can see that my tube is hollowed out on the inside. Okay. Now we need to add that threaded part that we saw before, down below. The threaded part was 1/2 inch long, so we need to extend this bottom piece by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to extrude this 1/2 inch. So you can see I've made the pipe longer. Now, to do what I need to do with the threads, we're actually going to use a tool that's called Helix. So I'm going to go up to my search bar here because it's not showing up right here. I'm going to type in Helix. Select that. Now by default, it's going to set it to turns. We actually want to use a different setting, so we're going to click on this drop down here and turn on height and pitch. Now pitch is a term that we use when we talk about the technical size of a screw. So we are going to select the face here, the outer face. We're going to set the height to 1/2 inch. And based on this drawing, this number right here, the 16 is the pitch. So we're actually going to make this 1/16. And there we go. That's how we make our replacement coffee maker part. So that's all that you need to know in order to complete today's task. So go ahead and get started. Good luck.